Hey everyone, our next video is titled Factoring Completely. Now the good news is there is nothing new in this lesson. Factoring completely is more of factoring with more than one step involved, if you will. If you take a look at example 1, it says factor 2m squared plus 30m plus 108. So at first glance, this appears to be factoring a trinomial, 3 terms, trinomial, where the leading coefficient, a, does not equal 1. And we've studied that already. And so we could go through this and multiply the 2 times the 108, put that here, then underneath it, put the 30. But those numbers are going to get pretty big when you take 2 times 108. So what I want you to tell you is when you're factoring, anytime you see this word, I'd really like you to first always try to factor by the GCF. If there is a GCF involved in the problem and you can factor it out to the front, you're going to basically reduce your numbers to a lower form that might be more manageable. So when I look at this problem, I see that I have all even numbers. So I know 108 is divisible by 2, I know 30 is divisible by 2, and I know 2 is divisible by 2. So my GCF is 2. Now I can't take any m's to the front because here I have 2 m's, m squared, m, but my 108 doesn't have any. So my fewest m's are none. So I'm just going to take that 2 out, but watch how that makes the problem a little bit more manageable. 2m squared divided by 2 is just m squared. 30m divided by 2 is going to be 15m. And 108 divided by 2 is 54. Okay, now I'm left inside here with a trinomial, but now the leading coefficient here is a 1m squared. So I'm going to go back to a former style of factoring. I'm going to multiply, which is grouping. I'm going to multiply the 1 times the 54, and that's 54. And then I'm going to slide the 15 down. So I'm looking for 2 numbers whose product is 54 and whose sum is 15. And I know that is going to be 9 and 6. 9 times 6 is 54. 9m plus 6m is 15m. So the important thing to remember here when you go to group is just keep sliding that 2 down. So I'm going to bring the 2 down. And now inside here, I'm going to have m squared plus 9m plus 6m plus 54. Now, I'm going to group my first 2 terms together, these 2, and I'm going to group these 2. So now I have my 2 out in front. My GCF in here, m squared plus 9m is just going to be an m, and I'll be left with m plus 9. And here, my GCF is 6, and I'll be left with m plus 9. And so my final answer with these m plus 9s matching, well, inside I'm going to have the m plus 9, and then the m plus the 6. And all I have to remember is to swing the 2 down in front, and I'm golden. That's my answer. 2 times quantity m plus 9 times quantity m plus 6. Now, to check it, what you want to do, or what I think is easiest to do, is to go ahead and multiply the 2 binomials together. Once you have the 2 binomials multiplied, then I'll distribute my 2 through. So what I'm going to do is m times m is m to the second, m times 6, 6m, 9 times m, 9m, 9 times 6, 54. So that's going to give me m squared plus 15m plus 54. And now I'll distribute the 2. So that's going to give me 2m squared plus 30m plus 108. That's a good check, because I'm right back where, ta-da, I started. So if you can, whenever you're doing a factoring problem, try to get that GCF out front. Just continue to factor, just bring that GCF along for the ride because it is a factor. You don't want to leave it behind. No factor left behind. All right, I only have one more example for this video. Didn't want to overkill it. Here's the second example. We're factoring this trinomial, 4x squared minus 44x plus 96. And so my GCF is going to be 4. 4 divides into all of these terms. So let me pull that out. So I've got a 4. I'm going to be left with x squared minus 11x plus, what's 96 divided by 4? I'm not sure I know that. 96 divided by 4. 24. Okay, 24 it is. Okay. Now I'm looking to factor this trinomial here by grouping. So I'm going to take 1 times 24, which is 24, and I'll slide the negative 11 down. And so I need two numbers that multiply to positive 24, but add to negative 11. Put my little X's on here a while. Okay, so you can pause and think. If you're done thinking, I'm going to go with a negative 8x and a negative 3x. Negative 8 times negative 3 is definitely a positive 24. So I'm loving that. So I'm going to come over here. The 4 slides down. Inside, I've got x squared minus 8x minus 3x plus 24. Okay, look out. I already see the red flag. The sign in between the second and third term is a minus, meaning he's going to switch. He is going to switch back here. This sign right here is going to have to switch when I group. So let's keep going. So let's do our 4 on the outside. Okay, so now I've got x squared minus 8x minus, here I go, 3x minus 24. When you distribute back, negative times 3x is negative 3x. Negative times negative takes me back to positive 24. Okay, so bring my 4 down. Now, GCF, here we go. The GCF in here is just going to be an x, and I'm left with x minus 8 minus GCF here, 3, and I'm left with x what am I doing? Wait a minute. Minus 8. I just had a moment there, like a senior moment there. Yeah, because again, I was actually looking at this step, but when you look here, see negative 3. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 8 is positive 24. So I can just leave that as a minus 8. Okay, and last but not least, I bring my 4 down, and now what I have is the x minus 8 in common and the x minus 3. And that's my final answer. So that's considered factoring completely. When you pull a GCF out first and then take the leftovers and continue on with grouping. Okay, thanks so much for watching.